I am pleased to introduce to you all Laura Dobbs Gillian, a program and policy manager at the Breast Cancer Prevention Partners. You may remember us discussing the Breast Cancer Prevention Partners last week when we shared their website that supports consumers in reaching out to Congress members to advocate for safer product policies. We'll be sure to share the link in the chat today with anyone who wasn't here this week. I believe Abigail is dropping that into the chat now, or she'll do that a bit later. Laura brings her background as an environmental health scientist and toxicologist to her role, where she leads the campaign to influence policies that eliminate toxic chemical exposures linked to breast cancer. Today, she is here to share an area of work where breast cancer Prevention Partners is leading the way in supporting our health, the non-toxic Black Beauty Project, which focuses on expanding access to Black-owned companies that are producing safe personal care products for Black women and girls. Please join me in welcoming Laura to share this critical work. Thank you, Laura, for being here.
Thank you for having me, Carmen. I'm so excited to be here. I've been learning so much from my fellow presenters and from all of you that have been engaged in the Q&A. Keep it coming. As Carmen mentioned, I'm the Senior Program Policy Manager at Breast Cancer Prevention Partners, where I manage the Black Beauty Project. Breast Cancer Prevention Partners, or BCPP for short, is unique as it's the only national organization solely focused on preventing breast cancer by reducing the public's exposure to environmental factors linked to the disease. While many people think that breast cancer can be genetic, that's really only 5 to 10% of the cases, and the reality is that up to 90% of cases aren't explained by inherited genetics. So that's where BCPP comes in. We advocate for stronger regulations and more transparency about the chemicals we encounter every day in cosmetics, cleaning products, household items, and more. I also have the honor of managing the campaign for safe cosmetics. For nearly 20 years, this campaign has been raising awareness about toxic chemicals, often hidden in beauty and personal care products. And our goal is to transform the $100 billion cosmetics industry by pushing it towards safer alternatives. And through our efforts, we've sparked a demand for non-toxic products and pushed for laws that protect us all, no matter where we shop, work, or live. Next slide, please. Oh, we can go another one. Thank you. So we've dove into the problem that Black women face in the earlier sessions of the symposium. So I wanted to let you all know that Campaign for Safe Cosmetics has been working on this issue, and we want to get safer personal care products into the hands of Black women and girls. So I'm excited to share with you this work. You've got a little entry from Amit. Thank you so much. And I'll also talk about what you can do as an individual. Next slide, please. So as mentioned before, we have this incredible advisory council. It was the first thing we did when we decided we wanted to do something and create the Black Beauty Project in 2021. These are the scientists and nonprofit leaders who have been focused on the problem and solutions in the space. And many of you already know them because they've been presenters at the symposium. And there's our very own Dr. Dede Tete in blue there with her big smile. Next slide, please. So we worked with our advisory council to create this Black Beauty Red List, and that could be used to vet the ingredients in Black Beauty products for safety. The Red List serves as a resource that helps cosmetic companies and retailers better understand product safety. It highlights ingredients to avoid, guides manufacturers in creating safer formulations, which was really exciting to hear earlier. Tanya mentioned that she has used the Clearya app to create safer formulations. And the Red List also assists retailers in stocking products that are safer for consumers. The Black Beauty Red List includes 250 do not use chemicals of concern that are linked to health impacts of greater concern to Black women. These are health impacts that you can see in the yellow headers. It's a bit small, so I'll mention a few. There's diabetes, uterine fibroids, endometriosis, infertility, in addition to breast and other cancers. Next slide, please. Oh, it looks like the slide is a little bit cut off, but I'll walk you through it. Um, So after creating that Black Beauty Red List, we started gathering the names of as many Black Beauty brands as we could find. We created a public nomination form, which you can see in the bottom left. You can even use that QR code to submit a brand that you want screened. It's still open. And then we also scoured the internet for curated lists recommending Black Beauty brands and opened an application process for brands to submit themselves for certification. This is all ongoing. And in this last cycle, we compiled a list of over 500 Black Beauty brands between all those sources. And all of these brands carry products marketed to Black individuals. So we then went, sorry, I heard something. So we then went through the list and we wanted to really focus on brands that are at least 50% Black owned, because one of the goals of our project is to elevate Black owned brands that are leading the change for a safer Black beauty industry. So out of the 500, we had about 350 that are at least 50% Black owned. And I see we're skipping a little ahead on the slides. So I'll just wrap up that previous one. So after we got the list of thank you so much. After we got the list of 350 brands, we reviewed the ingredients for each of those brands across all of their products, and then we screened them against that 250 chemicals on the Black Beauty Red List. And that's where Amit came in. He helped us screen all of those brands, and it was a rigorous process. We certified just over 100 brands in this last round as non-toxic Black Beauty brands. And for the remaining brands, we are working with them. We're encouraging them to reformulate their products and improve their ingredient disclosures so that we can certify them in the future. So that's very exciting. Next slide, please. Okay, and as I had mentioned before, we released this list of 100 certified non-toxic Black beauty brands. We're super proud of it. You can actually scan the QR code on this slide to see the actual brand list. And I wanted to feature some of our amazing CEOs here. We have Barbara Jacques of Jacques and Amber Makeupson of Meraki, Tracy from Akare. Let's see who else we have here. Sylvia Walker from Nabi. These are all such incredible brands. So I encourage you to follow them on social or go to the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics blog and you can read more about their stories. Next slide, please. So we made the brand list and then we put all of those safe products into a database that Black women and girls can trust. And actually we've added men's products as well this past year. So that's 1,400 verified as safe products. And we're actually going to do a tutorial on this after I go through my slides. Next slide, please. Okay, so lastly, I want to close out with what you can do personally. You can start by detoxifying your daily routine, choose beauty and personal care products that are free of toxic chemicals, and use great resources like the Clearya app. I use that all the time. But at the end of the day, we all deserve a government that protects every one of us, no matter where we live, work, or shop. And that's why I encourage you to get engaged politically as well. Write to your members of Congress, urging them to support our Safer Beauty bill package. The QR code is right there, and I believe Michaela from We Act talked about that earlier in the symposium. And then you can also visit our website to see how we have a Take Action Center where you can see ways you can get involved more. And then lastly, get active on social media to amplify the message. Share your voice. There are a lot of great graphics that we produced for the Black Beauty Project that I'm going to walk you through in the tutorial. And yeah, we just need to spread the word. And with that, that takes us to our last slide. Let's stay in touch. So if you have questions, please feel free to email me. I know I've shared a lot today and I hope it was helpful. Follow us on social media. We have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, Facebook. And then most importantly, please, everyone, take care of yourself. Keep doing the good work in the world. You all are the ones that are going to spread the word and make real change happen. So I commend you all and thank you for that. Okay, and we're gonna go over to the demo now. So if everyone could just like hold on for a second, I'm gonna have some exciting resources to share with you. And then could you navigate to the next tab, please, the Black Beauty tips? Oh, you can also get to it through the Bench to Community website there. There's a little button that says Non-Toxic Black Beauty Project, and that will bring you here. And the first thing that you see is search the database. So if you could click that button, I want to show you, this is where the 1,400 products live, and you can use the search bar or you can use the filters to find whatever you're shopping for. So as an example, I'd love if you could type in curl cream. This is something that I desperately need in my hair. And then if you scroll down, you can see all of the brands that offer curl creams. And if you click this first one by Ayoba, the organic curl cream, you can see that there's a description of the product, there's ingredients, and then if you click the button view product, it'll actually take you in the purple, yep, it'll take you to their website where you can actually purchase it. And look, you can even get 20% off if you put your email in there. So let's do one more. If you go back to the database, you know, some places it still feels like summer and you might need sunscreen. So let's check sunscreen out. And you can see we have several sunscreens here. And if you want to click that third one in, the Everyday Mineral Tinted Face Sunscreen, again, you're going to see the same information. It's a product description, all of the ingredients in it, and then you can click on View Product to, if you want to learn more and possibly put in an order right there. So that's how we work the database. And if you go back to the website, I'd love to show you two more things. If you go to resources in the bar, yes, perfect. And then you can go to Black Beauty Project and go to tips. Fantastic, thank you. So if you scroll down, I want to show you these downloadable tip cards. So if you want to share your voice on social media and talk about this issue, these are all tip cards that you can post and use. And then in the second section, we have top toxic cosmetic ingredients to avoid. And these are a really great resource if you are like, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I want to change out my cosmetics, but I don't know where to start. You can actually choose skincare. Let's just start with skincare and clean that one up. And then look at these tip cards to see that there are none of these ingredients in your products. You can also use Clearya and you can use the database. So there's just a number of different ways of doing this, so depending on your preferences. So yeah, this is skincare and it has the toxic ingredients, and then there's makeup. I think there's about 8 different tip cards there that will help you to work your way through your vanity. Okay, and I'm gonna pause there. I would come check out the website. There's so much more to offer here, and I didn't want to overwhelm you. I just wanted to give you the most practical tips and resources to use.
Thank you, Laura. That was fabulous. I have just shared the Black Beauty Project with 2 group chats where we often talk about Black-owned brands. We're often searching for Black-owned brands, and we're often thinking about what's supportive of our health. And you've been able to combine 2 things that are very valuable to me and my friends, and I'm sure a lot of other folks who are searching for Black-owned brands and safer choices. So thank you for leading this project. I also noticed that you said you started in 2021, which is not that long ago.
And so to be able to grow that this fast, I'm curious of any challenges that you saw when you were first starting and how you've been able to kind of work through those of growing a database and how those things have been, how the challenges have helped create a better database for consumers like myself.
Yeah, that's a really great question. Yeah, 2021 seems like the longest, shortest time ago. This Black Beauty like feels so timely. The conversation's happening in so many spaces, as you know. You've heard all these presenters today, or in the other 2 days. Um, since we started in 2021 was the first round that we certified, and that was about 80. And one of the challenges we saw is that the Black beauty industry actually is really fast paced. So, just as an example, in February, we saw, oh my gosh, I'm gonna confuse the Serena and Venus again. I think it was Venus. Someone's gonna have to correct me in the chat, but Venus had a brand, Black Beauty brand, and she closed it down. Then Beyonce opened Sacred, and then the other Williams sister opened another brand, and it's just like that's just an example of how quickly brands are coming on the market and going off the market. So when it comes to certifying brands, originally what I didn't anticipate is that, okay, we have 80 brands from the first cycle. Now we're just going to add on to that. But it actually was that we like removed 30 because they went out of business or took their lines down or they're paused. And then they added more. We added more. So that was like, it's just fast paced and we have to keep up with it.
Wow, that's great to know. One, because I love to think about. I mean, Tanya has already brought in how she used Clearya and how her product is on the list, and how Black beauty small businesses are growing their brands and their products using these tools and resources. One of the questions that I have is, have you noticed any brands have reformulated their products based on some of the feedback that you have received or given them?
Yeah, so that was super exciting. So this last iteration of the certification cycle, and Amma had mentioned this before, was that we were able to produce a report specific to that brand. So we've, screened all of your ingredients. We've screened all your labels for transparency, right? We want everyone to disclose their fragrance and flavor. So through that brand report, a brand knows exactly what they need to do to get certified. And we had brands reformulate parabens out of their products, triethanolamine. And those were two main examples that came to the top of my mind. But yeah, no, brands were able to reformulate in this last round, which was super exciting because we just needed to provide those resources to them. That's what they want. That's what they want to do, right? They're mission driven and they want to provide safe products. So it's really nice to act as that middle ground to help them get where they need to be.
That's really exciting, and it's a really important resource as a small business owner to have this resource as your. It's almost like someone helping you doing your market research and your product formulation right there, and you're providing me with a report. It's an awesome resource that you all are providing to folks. I have one last question for you, Laura. Can you share some examples of success stories of how consumers have used the Black Beauty Project database to make safer choices and how it may have impacted somebody's beauty routine or their health outcomes?
Yes, that is a great question, and it's a funny question because I don't have those stories firsthand. We work with our partners who do a lot of the ambassador training, which means that they're bringing all of these messages and resources to different community leaders. So we partnered with California Black Health Network and Black Women for Wellness to actually work with the community and get their stories. We actually even have a seal called the Black Beauty Ambassador. I've seen some people post it on LinkedIn, which has been super exciting. And CBHN has actually been running office hours through their Conscious Clean Beauty. I think Astrid presented earlier in the symposium. So we're all working together, which has been really great to get this information to the people who are impacted most. And that's why I also love the symposium so much, because that's exactly an example of what we're doing this and trying to educate educate the community so that they can share with their family and friends.
Thank you so much, Laura. I encourage everyone who's listening to this to share this in your group chats. Share Laura, the Black Beauty Non-Toxic Project in your group chats.